What's up YouTube? I'm Faded Phoenix, bringing you a list of the most forgotten and unknown Pokemon abilities. I was playing Hackmons on Pokemon Showdown recently, and when I was trying to find new abilities that would suit the Pokemon or just merely overpowered, I noticed that I either forgot about or never heard of quite a few of the abilities present in the main series games. So today, I'm going to be taking a look at said forgotten abilities, as well as the Pokemon that have them. This is part 1 of a 2-part video, and I'm going to be looking at the abilities that start with A through L. Remember that this is my opinion, and abilities I forgot or have never heard of doesn't mean that you've forgot of or never heard of these abilities. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. First up is Anticipation. Anticipation is an ability that allows the user to sense when the opponent has a super effective move. This ability doesn't activate if the opponent doesn't have a super effective move. A select few Pokemon get this ability, which are Eevee, Barboach and Whiscash, Wormadam, Croagunk, Toxicroak, and Ferrothorn. The reason I forgot about this ability is that the only Pokemon I see in competitive that can have this ability is Ferrothorn, and it is almost always running Iron Barbs. The other Pokemon that get it have little to no prevalence in the OU tier in the competitive scene. Next are 3 abilities that correlate with one another, which are Fairy Aura, Dark Aura, and Aura Break, the signature abilities of Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde respectively. I have heard of these abilities before and I only slightly forgot about them, but the reason that they're in this video is the fact that they only really do anything to each other, whereas other abilities are practically unaffected by them. All that they do is increase Fairy and Dark type moves to both players, so there's really no point for these abilities if they're going to benefit your opponent as well. This is not the case with Zygarde, however, because its ability only got rid of the Fairy and Dark auras, reversing them and causing Fairy and Dark moves to do less damage than normal, but only if the other abilities were in play to begin with. Game Freak realized this and updated its ability to be the much more useful and practical power construct. The specific scenario needed to get any benefit from these abilities and the slight boost they even give to certain types of moves, if at all, is the reason why I somewhat forgot about them and why they are on this list. Filter is an ability that reduces the damage from super effective attacks by 25%. Not a bad ability by any means. The only thing is, this ability was exclusive to just Mr. Mime and Mime Jr. until Mega Aggron was released. This ability could be very useful if a Pokemon other than just these 3 could use it. I don't have much else to say about this ability, so let's move on to one that I honestly have never heard of before, unlike the last 3. The ability I'm referring to is Flare Boost. This ability is pretty interesting in my opinion, and I'm very unsure as to why only 2 Pokemon get this ability. To put it simply, Flare Boost is just Guts for special attack, as opposed to attack. What does that mean, you may be asking? Well, it means that when the user is burnt, its special attack gets boosted, just how like Guts boosts physical attack when the user is burned. Now then, what are the 2 lucky Pokemon that get access to this pretty good ability? Drumroll please. Drifloon and Drifblim. Why do these Pokemon get this exclusive ability? I honestly have no clue. People hardly use these Pokemon anyway, so why waste such a useful ability on them? Drifloon's special attack is hardly good to start with. It has 90 base special attack. You know what Pokemon could greatly benefit from this ability? Well, it'd be completely overpowered, but Hoopa and Boundary Deoxys, both Pokemon with 170 and 180 special attack respectively. Overall, the main reason I've never heard of this ability is the same reason as a lot on this list. It's just the fact that no one runs this ability when they do use Drifblim. I almost always see Aftermath instead. It's truly a shame that more Pokemon don't have access to this ability. Another ability I've never heard of is Friend Guard. Now this is an ability that reduces damage done to allies in double battles by 25%, so it's similar to Filter except it applies to the teammate, not the user. Much like Filter though, this ability is only known to a handful of Pokemon. These are Cleffa and Clefairy, Igglybuff and Jigglypuff, Happiny, and the Scatterbug line. There are a few reasons I've never heard of this ability, mostly due to the fact that all of these Pokemon have it as their hidden ability, so players would most likely never see it in normal gameplay, unless they accidentally encounter it in an SOS chain in the Gen 7 games, or of course they are aware of this ability and trying to get it for their team. The other major factor in me never hearing of this ability is that when I do see these Pokemon using competitive play, they're always running one of their other abilities, because most of the time I'm playing singles, and, as anyone with half a brain knows at this point, it only works for allies in battle. I'm just going to talk about this next ability for a little while, as it is self-explanatory and, like most other abilities on this list, exclusive to a handful of Pokemon and has absolutely no use competitively, which, as you can probably tell, is how I learned everything about Pokemon battling. This ability is Honey Gather, which allows the user to, you guessed it, gather honey. Only Combee, Cutiefly, Ribombee, and Teddiursa get this ability, and in Teddiursa's case, it's the hidden ability. Outside of battle, by level 100, the Pokemon with this ability have a, get this, 50% chance of finding honey. Why would anyone bother using this ability, much less raise a Pokemon to level 100, just to have a 50-50 chance of finding honey that has little use in the games anyways? The next ability is actually possessed by quite a few Pokemon, but it is useless and even hindering to the player's experience. Well, unless you like to run into Pokemon every half step. Illuminate raises the likelihood of beating wild Pokemon. That's it. Of course, this isn't ever used in battle, as the Pokemon that learn it have other abilities that are just better to use, whether in competitive or not. Regardless, this ability does nothing in battle. The only thing it does is let you encounter more wild Pokemon. Everyone who wants to run into more Zubat in caves or Tentacle in the ocean, speak up. I definitely have never heard of this ability, and I would honestly be surprised if any other players have. I rest my case. Well, at least it isn't a hidden ability. I have definitely heard of Heavy Metal before. I meant the ability that doubles your weight. I have not, however, heard of its counterpart, Light Metal, which of course halves the user's weight. The Pokemon that get this ability are Scizor, the Beldum line, and Registeel. I have used Scizor multiple times, but every time I run Technician on it, because it's just that much better. And why even have your weight anyway? Even if your Pokemon does get Grass Knot used on it, you're going to resist the attack, and you don't ever see Low Kick used. The impractical uses that this ability presents is the reason why I have never heard of it until I began researching for this video. If I'm being honest, I've always, at least since I started playing competitively, thought of myself as kind of a Pokemon encyclopedia. As in, sort of an ask me anything about the games and I'll have an answer kind of guy. Before making this list, if someone were to ask me what Flare Boost did and who had it, I'd give them a blank stare and ask if that was even a real thing. I never took into consideration how many various abilities there actually are. I know that I've definitely learned something today, and I hope you have too. It's fun to discover things that are somewhat hidden in things that I saw so familiar before. That's going to do it for part 1 of this video. Join me next time where I'll go over abilities that start with M through Z. You can know right when that video drops by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And remember, whatever you do until then is just fine, as long as you aren't harming yourself or others.